You've got ideas, you've got ambition, you've got no time, or so you think. I'm Marissa Lonick, and I help busy moms with big dreams and no time. Join me each week as I dive into time management strategies, goal setting and achieving framework, and inspiring guests who are juggling mom life, work life, fill in the blank life. Dreams don't work unless you do, and just because you're a mom doesn't mean you can't still make it happen, whatever it means to you. Welcome to the Mama Work It podcast. Hi, mamas, and welcome back to another episode of the Mama Work It podcast. Now, if you're listening to today's episode and you're not in the best headspace, we are going to tell you how you can get out of that funk in minutes. My guest today is Wendy Ng, a dance and movement coach who guides women to live consciously and confidently using mindful movement and dance through her signature program, Moving into Joy. Passionate about movement, Wendy holds a BSc in kinesiology and has trained in various forms of dance, Muay Thai kickboxing, and yoga. Wendy uses her experience in movement and a combination of mental and physical strategies to help her clients shift their thinking, reconnect with their intuition, and build their confidence. Prior to starting her business, Wendy worked 10 plus years as an occupational therapist, helping clients adapt to change and live independently, doing the things most important to them. In her free time, you can find Wendy hanging out with her 3 kids and husband, playing board games, having family paint nights, or being a chef at home. Wendy, thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, thanks for having me, Marissa.
Awesome. Well, first things first, I know we just learned a little bit about you in that intro, but tell us your story. Like, how did this all come to be?
Yeah. So, like you said, I'm a mama to 3 kiddos, and what I like to share with people is that I am a prairie girl with a passion for dance. I've been dancing since I was 7 years old and taught for many years until I became a mom. And then what happened is my focus had to change, or I felt like it had to. So then I started, doing the things I needed to for the kids. And I found myself in a space in my life where I had kind of checked off all those things that I should have done, right? I went to school, I got my undergrad, I finished a professional degree in healthcare. I had a fantastic career going, got married and had a house, had the car, and now had the kids. And then I was feeling like, I don't know if any other moms out there have felt this before, but you just feel like you've got so much adult responsibility going on, and all those things that I used to do that I enjoyed just were suddenly not on my plate. It wasn't in my life anymore. And I just felt overwhelmed and stuck on this hamster wheel of adulting. And so I needed something to change. And so I was reaching out, I was listening to podcasts, and I finally connected with a coach myself and got involved in her community and got some help for myself. And that's where, I really blossomed again. I had a coach and mentor who was really breathing some belief back into me and giving me some tools and strategies to shift the way I was thinking. And the biggest thing, I think, is that she encouraged me to do something that I loved again, which was dance. And so I started dancing again, and it was like magic. All the work I had been doing with coach and getting back into dancing, something I loved doing when I was younger and I felt so confident doing, it just really reminded me, like, this is what life should be like. And so with all of that and my experience as a therapist, I just felt like, okay, this is it. This is what I want to do. I want to help other moms feel unstuck, to feel spacious in their life again, to feel so confident and happy in their lives again. And so this grew, and my business was born out of this. So here I am today.
I love that story, Wendy. I think
Thanks.
it's very familiar to a lot of moms out there. And I want to mention something that you said that I also hear a lot from my clients, and I'm sure our listeners are feeling this. Oftentimes, you guys, and this is Wendy's story, and it could be your story too. When you feel overwhelmed, when you feel like you have too much on your plate, your automatic response, like the thing you automatically want to do is you want to do nothing, right? Like you just want to like
Mm-hmm.
zone out, numb it all, watch Netflix and kind of chill. But in Wendy's case and in many other cases I've seen, that's not usually the answer, the long-term answer. That's a band-aid, right? The
Yes.
long-term answer is actually finding something you're passionate about to add into your life. Because when you're feeling unfulfilled and overwhelmed in that way, the answer is usually some sense of fulfillment that you're lacking, right? And you found that in
Mm-hmm.
going back to dance, to something you love.
Yes.
And I think it sounds a little bit like an oxymoron, like you want to add back to your life when you're already feeling so full, but it's
Mm-hmm.
actually the answer.
Yes, absolutely. Because it's like, I tell people this is like, I got to this point where I was like, where is Wendy? I've just lost her in becoming a mom, a wife, like all these other roles that I had taken on. And all of a sudden that beautiful, bright, like passionate girl that I used to be was somewhere hidden under all of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this episode we're talking about the dancing, girl. We're
Yes.
getting down into it. So I want to know, when it comes to well, basically, how does moving your body better help you kind of manage your day and get through this overwhelm that you might be feeling?
So, from my point of view, movement really helps in two different ways. One is that movement, I teach this movement for mindfulness. So, this is kind of a buzzword that you hear out there now. Mindfulness, be present in the moment. Well, how do you do that? There's so much going on. And so, one of the ways that movement and dance can help you do that is that, when you Google and think about the definition of mindfulness, it's that state of being very conscious and aware of something right now in the moment. And so when you're dancing and you're moving, you're using your body, you're pay attention to your senses, and it's very grounding. It brings you back, tunes you back into the moment because you need to be paying attention to the movements and the sensations, that it's so grounding to use your senses to do that. The second reason that movement helps you better manage is that movement allows you to develop your sense of agency. So, what I mean by this is it's that feeling, that knowledge that, you know what, I make things happen. And so we know through psychology research that the sense of self agency is really critical for resiliency, your sense of resilience, and your ability to bounce back when challenges come your way. So when you develop that sense of like, I make things happen, you feel more in control. You feel like you can handle those things versus when you feel like things are just happening to you outside of your control. And so that's how dance and movement helps.
Wow. Wow. That's incredible. And it makes a lot of sense when you say it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I know a lot of people say, like, move your body, move your body. I hear it all the time. But you
Mm-hmm.
particularly teach movement through dance. Why do you
Yeah.
think dance is, I mean, I don't want to say better, but why do you think it's better than just any kind of movement?
Okay. Well, I would say it's absolutely better. And this is why. I find dancing more enjoyable. It's playful. It's something that, when you think about when you became a mom, when I became a mom, I quickly got bogged down by those adult responsibilities. Okay. Child caring, keeping the house going. And I lost that sense of playfulness because of all those other things going on. So when I think of exercise, I think of going to the gym. I feel like this tight sense of dread that comes up like, oh, I got to go do this workout. I got to do this movement. Exercise to me is more prescriptive, it's very controlled, versus dancing is very open. It's flowing, it's creative, it's energizing. in a very different way than exercise is. And so that's why I think dance is the best way to help connect back to that sense of passion and that zest for living, is because it has so much creative energy in it, that and that playfulness to it, that I think a lot of times we're missing out on that, being a mom and having and holding all those responsibilities.
Yeah. And it's so important to be creative. I mean, I find that being creative often de stresses you. It
Mm-hmm.
kind of gets you in a mental state where you can be a little freer, like you were mentioning, right? And not so rigid and on schedule. And listen, I'm somebody who my niche is time management and productivity. So like you could look at me and think, oh, she must be like so on top of her schedule and so organized. And in some ways, yes, I am. But in other ways, I need a creative element in my life and schedule, or else I can't possibly adhere to that part of my life with such joy, with such happiness, right? It would feel
Yeah.
hard every single day. So
Mm-hmm.
I love that you said that creative element, because I do think everybody needs a piece of that. Even people that say, oh, I'm not creative. Oh, I'm not. Everybody has creativity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like kids have creativity and we kind of dwindle out of that as we become adults, but it's an innate thing that we all carry, that we all have.
Yes, I absolutely agree. And, when you say creativity, it could be maybe you're creative in the kitchen. Maybe you're creative in, I don't know, home decor. Maybe you're creative in like your garden or just like small things. What if as an organizer and a planner, you're creative in how you design that time and space for people, right? So, yes,
Yeah.
I think that's so,
Yeah.
so important to feel that flow in your life through creative type of activities.
Absolutely. Yeah. My creative outlet has always been writing.
Hmm.
So that's what I love, love, love to do. I mean, I definitely dabble in other creative things here, but writing's really my go to. So I love when I can, I love that I prioritize. I'm not going to say when I can, because I am prioritizing my creative elements.
Yeah.
And I make that, a thing that I do on the regular, and it makes me feel good. All
Hmm.
right, but back to this dance. So, like, let me just ask, what if you're like super uncoordinated? Like, should you still be dancing?
Oh, yes. You absolutely should be dancing. If you're coordinated and you love it, do it. Do more of it. If you're not coordinated, I would say definitely do it. It's actually more helpful for you to dance than to exercise. And this is the reason why, from my personal experience, I'll tell you this. I grew up, I was super klutzy. There wasn't a school picture that I didn't have a bruise or a scratch on my face. But, I've been training as a dancer since I was 7. And people see me now and they're like, oh, you're so graceful and you move so well. And I could never do that. Like I'm like so uncoordinated. But the truth is that it's a practiced skill. Okay. Another example is growing up. Even now, my dad will be like, yeah, you used to run and you looked like a duck when you were running, like just like flailing, looking funny looking thing. And the interesting thing is that in my kinesiology, when I was doing my undergrad, we had to take some activity courses. So I took track and field. And I kid you not, right after taking that course, my dad came to pick me up from university and we had a race with my sister. And all of a sudden he looked at me, he's like, where did you learn to do that? Like the form, the technique was just like completely different. And it's because I had the training. And so, like I said, if you're feeling uncoordinated, dance is definitely for you. This is where you are going to develop that sense of self, that sense of rhythm, that coordination will come with the practice.
And how should you do that? Should you go to like a Zumba class? Should you go to a dance studio? Like what's your best advice if you're one of those people?
Yeah, I would say, yeah, pick a class that sounds like remotely interesting to you, slightly scary, and just go for it. Because as you get into it and start trying, you're going to discover and learn new things about yourself and your body and develop, like we talked about, that sense of self agency, that sense of like, hey, I can do this. The more you put yourself out there to try, you're going to develop that those skills and feel like, hey, I can do this, because it really truly is. It's a step-by-step process. And the more you practice it, the more it develops.
Okay. Okay. Now, this is a good question I have for you,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm super curious. What music choice do
Mm.
you recommend for dancing? Like, should it be a specific genre? Should it be anything? I'm curious.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Um, I would say when you're starting out, music choice is pick something that's enjoyable to you already, something that you like listening to. The second thing is it's important to have a nice rhythm and flow to the music and a good beat. So it just depends on the type of dance and the movement that you're going for, right? So hip hop dancing has a really strong rhythm to it, really strong downbeat, versus like ballet dancing, which is more classical music, flowing. So it has very beautiful sounds to it. The key thing is picking something that you enjoy and that really connects to your heart and your soul and moves you. Because when it moves your heart, it leads to moving your body.
Okay. Gotcha. So, do you recommend like somebody just put on their favorite jam and just like let their body guide them? Or should they like pop on a YouTube video and try and like follow along with an instructor? Like, what's a better option
Hmm.
here?
I think to make things easy for you, if you're feeling like, okay, I have no skill in this, start with a video, a YouTube, follow someone step by step, make it easy for yourself. If your goal and your intention is, I just need like a few minutes to enjoy myself, then turn on your favorite song and just move free flowing to it. Okay. So, two different intentions behind that. One is, do you want to develop your skill? Or do you want to just get the pleasure and enjoyment out of it? There would be two different ways to approach that.
Okay. And if you want to really see the benefits of this, how long should you be doing this and how frequently?
Every day. Every day. It's like brushing your teeth, right? It's a habit that you start to form. And the more you do it, the more it integrates into your life. So I would recommend practicing daily.
Okay. So, like one song a day.
Yeah, start there. Start small. And then as you get more comfortable with it, then you're going to develop a little playlist and you can be just enjoying things for a longer period of time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I imagine people that aren't doing this already might feel like a little bit silly getting started with this
Oh, yeah.
habit. So, what's your recommendation when it comes to that?
Do it with your kids. I found that for me, when I feel out of my element and I feel like, "Oh, I don't even know how to have fun anymore," I turn to my kids and I try things with them, because they have this sense of playfulness to them that's so innate and hasn't been squashed down by like responsibility. Their imagination is wild, right? So anytime I felt like, I don't know if I can do this, I'll just try this out. And they bring out that playfulness and that silliness, and I don't feel judged. They're just there to enjoy. And it brings that fun factor back into your house. And being able to interact with your kids like that, they love it. They absolutely love it when I'm with them like that. And so if you're feeling intimidated by dance, if you're feeling like, I don't know if I can do this, your kids can help you with it and just help you
Okay.
along as you start doing it.
Love it. All right. So, if you're listening, put the radio edit of your favorite jam on and dance it out with your kids 3 to 4 minutes a day. You are going to reap the benefits of this therapy. So we've talked about, the fulfillment factor. We've talked about tapping into our creativity. What are some other benefits you can share with us of like developing this habit of like, let's say one dance a day?
Okay. When you think about how you show up as a mom, let me ask you this. How do you feel when you wake up, you are so tired, you kind of hit snooze on the alarm, the kids are calling you, you have to get up and you feel rushed during the day and you need to take care of them? It feels really icky. It feels really hard. Versus if you were creating the space for yourself, taking care of yourself, and you decided you're going to get up like 5 minutes earlier than the kids and feel kind of prepared for the day, it feels a lot different because you're showing up energetically differently. So when you incorporate this type of habit into your day, this type of self-care into your day, dancing, doing something for yourself, it shifts your own energy. It shifts the way you show up in your life, and it shifts the way you're interacting with other people around you. So this one small habit has this ripple effect in your life. And that's one of the huge benefits you will see and see quickly.
Love it. So you recommend a proactive approach of like doing this as part of, let's say, your morning routine. I'm a big fan myself of waking up before my kids, taking some time and space for myself during that time. I admittedly do not dance during those morning hours, but maybe I will start that after this episode. But I like that approach. Should you also use this sort of like as a tool, like if something triggers you during the day, like if you something really like upsets you, or like things are really not going your way, you just take like a 5-minute breather and pop on your favorite song and just move?
Yeah, that is also a great idea. And I talk about this with clients about self-regulation. It's being very aware and checked in to like, hey, how am I feeling right now? Am I feeling worked up? Am I feeling bored? Am I feeling tired? And does that match with what I need right now, the energy that I need? If it doesn't match up, then you can do something about it. And dance is a quick and easy way to do something about it, to shift your energy in that moment so that, hey, you're back into feeling more calm, you're back into feeling a release of tension, whatever it is you need in that moment, so that you can then refocus and continue on with the thing that you actually need to do.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So, Wendy, I know our audience is mainly listening to this show, but I'm going to challenge you for a quick second. Can you guide us through like a quick and dirty dance lesson, like a 30-second lesson we can all implement maybe after this show? Like, is there a movement or something you can show us or teach us or guide us through verbally so that we can feel, if we're uncoordinated or unskilled or feel really, this feels really foreign to us, we can implement and use right away?
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to try to unplug my headset so that, can I pop on some music and show you guys?
Yes. Yes.
So the thing I'm going to want to share with you guys today is hip movements. Hip movements is a great way to free up, loosen up some energy, tap into your feminine energy, and get that flow going again. We get so much tightness in the hips because you're sitting all day, you're doing a lot of things bent over or crouched. And when you can free up and move those hips in a more flowing way, it frees up that energy. It feels good. So, okay, I'm going to try this and see if it'll work. Can you hear me, Marissa?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to stand up for this because I'm going to do it with you.
All right. Awesome. So, okay. So let's just back up a little bit. Okay. So we're just going to swing the hips to the left and the right. Good. Left, right, 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 left, right. Good. You got that? Go forward, tuck your hips under, and push your bum out. Forward and back. Forward, back. I'll go side. Forward, back. Forward, back. Forward, back. Nice. Good. So we're going to go around in a circle. You go forward, side, back, side. Forward, side, back, side. Forward, side, back, side. Draw a big circle. Nice. Good. Try the other way. Forward, side, back, side. Forward, side, back, side. Draw a circle. Good. And loosen up. Just nice round circles. Good. And loosen the shoulders. There we go.
Oh,
nice. Well done.
Oh my gosh, you guys. If you're just listening, I hope that you tried that. I did. And if you're watching this episode, you get to see me do these hip circles and really get down and dirty here with Wendy. So super bonus for today's show. Okay, awesome. Well, on that note, we are going to move into our lightning round now, Wendy. So these questions have nothing to do with dance. They are just fun questions, random ones, just so our listeners can get to know you a little bit more personally. Mm-hmm. And we're going to go through them pretty quickly. So are you ready?
Okay, go for it.
Okay, cool. Oh, this is a good one. What's your go-to get shit done song?
Okay. The song that we just played, that's one of my favorites lately. It's Janelle Monáe, Make Me Feel.
Or also I did like it. It was nice.
Yeah. I also like Michael Jackson, Billie Jean. Just something about that really strong beat just gets me every time.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, yeah. What is your guilty pleasure TV show?
Okay, I love Korean dramas. So the one I love lately, it's called Crash Landing on You. It's just like this fun kind of boy meets girl drama story, and I just love those.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Are you more of an introvert or an extrovert?
I am definitely an introvert.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. And you teach dance. I love it. You guys, introverts can do this too.
Yes.
All right. Nail salon, hair salon, or spa. You can only pick one place to visit for the rest of your life. Which one is it?
Definitely the spa. I just love me a good massage. Like that is so relaxing.
Yeah. That seems to be a really popular answer on this show. All right. Okay. What's one app you can't live without?
My calendar app. Like I just need it to stay organized. This mama brain cannot remember everything. So everything I need to remember, all the things are happening for my little family of 5, it goes on the calendar. And it's a great communication tool between my husband and I. I cannot live without that.
Oh yeah, girl. I mean,
yeah.
Calendar girl right here too. So
yes. You get me.
Totally. All right. And lastly, what book are you reading right now?
I just finished an amazing book called We Should All Be Millionaires by Rachel Rogers. It is fantastic.
I need to read this book because I literally interviewed someone for the show last week.
Yeah.
And she was also reading this book.
Okay.
So It is a sign from God.
Yes. I just devoured it. Like I love audiobooks. So I listened to it on Audible, and then I was like bookmarking all these different sections while she's talking. And it's definitely, I'm going to go back to it again and again. It was so good.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. It's on my list for sure. All right, Wendy. Well, before we wrap up today's show, why don't you tell our listeners where they can find you?
Oh, yes. Come on over to Instagram and find me at Simply Naturally Wendy. And if you would love to start your morning off with some movement, I've got this great freebie. You can grab it from my website at thewending.com, and you can grab that there. Start your morning, ease into your day, transition into your day with some movement instead of just popping out of bed and answering to your kids. And if you feel moved and would love to connect with me, find out more how to work with me, I do have my one-on-one coaching program, Moving into Joy, that you can explore more of these things that we talked about today with me personally.
Yeah. And you guys, I mean, she just coached me through some hip thrusts here on a podcast. So imagine what she can do for you in like a real one-on-one setting. All right, Wendy. Well, thanks again for being here. I really enjoyed our chat, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me today. This is so fun, Marissa.
You've been listening to the Mama Work It podcast. I hope you've enjoyed this episode and would love if you could take a quick minute to leave me a review on whichever platform you're listening from, and maybe even send a note to a fellow mama friend recommending it. Reviews and recs help this podcast grow and reach more like-minded, awesome moms. And if you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click that button so we can stay in touch, girl. By the way, if you haven't checked out the Mama Work It website, please do. There are lots of free resources and great articles there that can help you with the juggle of work life, mom life, wife life, fill in the blank life. So head on over. Thanks again for being part of the tribe. I'll see you soon, but in the meantime, keep on working it, mama.